At last, Bennett's apartment building. Shouldn't be too hard to find a fire escape to get up there. I'll go up to his penthouse, steal the recordings of my therapy sessions, and find out what happened on Mala Island once and for all. Okay, now! Darn it. I can't take the luxury of going into the street again, or someone might recognize me, so I better just do what I came here for. Bad news. There's no sign of a fire escape. I'll have to find some other way into the building.
Hej, siemano wam wszystkim ludzie, z tej strony Arturo, witam was na swoim kanale i kontynuujemy Runaway przewrotny los. Rozpoczęliśmy rozdział 5. Udało nam się wydostać z zakładu psychiatrycznego. Ogólnie ubraliśmy się troszeczkę inaczej, tak bardziej po ludzku. No dobra, w takim razie musimy się dostać do mieszkania Bennetta. I widzę, że mogę iść tutaj, cofnąć się do ulicy, bądź spojrzeć na pojemnik na śmieci.
I used it as a hiding place when I got to the alley. Filth, trash, and garbage. And a half-empty can of paint. Okay, technically that's just garbage too. But it's so shiny and pretty.
Nie ma to jak grzebanie w śmietnikach w grze przygodowej.
How cool is that? They're all for groups that I love. The one in the middle is for Viejo Musical, a crazy bunch of dudes with a sizzling hot rhythm. The two on either side are for his haircut, an indie folk group that Gina's wild about. Better not.
Lepiej nie. Tutaj mamy drzwi.
Francacella? This graffiti could be a reference to just about anything, from the artist himself to a new type of illegal rave.
Obstawiam, że będą zamknięte.
Locked.
No właśnie. Okej, mamy drabinkę do góry, więc prawdopodobnie będziemy przeskakiwać z jednego budynku na drugi. Tutaj mamy też budkę telefoniczną, gdybyśmy chcieli zadzwonić.
Trash bags, boxes, tubes, a broken wheel. The most select waste from the finest homes. I don't see anything that I'd ever need or want.
Nic nie mogę zabrać z tego śmietnika.
It's in such bad shape, I wouldn't be surprised to see it voting in favor of euthanasia. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Almost everyone's already had dinner by this time of evening.
Okej.
It's perpendicular to the avenue I entered the alley from. Not that there are that many people milling around, but I'd rather not risk walking out in the open street.
No tak, moglibyśmy się rzucić w oczy i zostać zatrzymani przez policję.
Not only is it not ringing, but the call is for somebody else.
A my nie mamy telefonu w ekwipunku, nie mamy nawet numeru telefonu do Giny, żebyśmy mogli do niej w razie czego zadzwonić. Ale po drabince na górę już się da wejść.
The end is here. Have a nice...
Okej, dostaliśmy w sznupę.
This here's Bennett's apartment building.
Come on, let's cut through here.
No, let's go another way. Or do you want to stay to chum around with the bums?
I'm shocked. I'm terribly saddened to hear this. The doctor he was a very close friend, so all we can do for him now, and especially for Brian, is watch this.
Patient, Brian Basco, session 25, October the 6th, 2008.
Good, Brian. Before continuing with your memories, would you like to go over what you've been explaining to me in your latest sessions?
Yes.
All right.
Wszystko zaczęło się podczas twoich wakacji na Hawajach, prawda?
Everything began during your vacation in Hawaii, correct?
Yes. Gina hired Otto, an old German pilot, to take us on a day trip to Mala Island. I think Otto had a heart attack. When we flew over a big lake, I threw Gina out the door with the only parachute on board. And then I tried to land the plane.
O, powiedz mi jeszcze raz, jak to się zaczęło. Nie będę tego klikał, bo prawdopodobnie znowu ujrzymy tą samą cutscenkę. Co się stało, kiedy próbowałeś lądować awaryjnie na wyspie Mila?
What happened when you attempted the crash landing on Mala Island?
Otto had vanished. I found a military camp by the lake. I asked the soldiers if they'd seen Gina, and I talked to their main officer, Colonel Kordsmeyer. He told me he hadn't seen her, but I could tell he was hiding something. so I decided to infiltrate the camp and search for her.
Opowiedz mi, jak zinfiltrowałeś obóz Kortsmajera.
Tell me about how you infiltrated Kordsmeyer's camp.
I knew Kordsmeyer was waiting for a scientist to come visit. Thanks to O'Connor, a really dumb soldier, I was able to impersonate the scientist, but I couldn't find Gina. Still, I discovered clues that something weird was happening in the lake, and also that the only person who'd know what was going on was this guy named Professor Simon in Alaska.
Jaki był związek między Giną i istotami pozaziemskimi?
What was the relationship between Gina and the extraterrestrials?
When Gina fell into the lake, they rescued her and took her to their ship. She had gunshot wounds, probably inflicted at the orders of Kordsmeyer. They tried everything they could to heal her, but without the energy stones, Gina would soon die.
Znasz piosenkę o żabie?
Do you know that song about the frog?
The Japanese frog lullaby? Yes.
Bądź grzecznym chłopcem i zaśpiewaj mi piosenkę o żabie.
Come on, be a good boy and sing me the frog song.
Kaeru no uta ga kikoete kuru yo. Gwa, 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 gwa. Gero, 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 gwa, gwa, gwa.
No, pięknie. Przetłumaczysz mi piosenkę o żabie?
Could you translate the frog song for me?
The croak of the frog is what we hear. Croak, croak, croak. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Croak, croak, croak.
Przepraszam, że wyszedłeś na idiotę, bo kazałem ci śpiewać.
Excuse me for making you look like an idiot by forcing you to sing. I just get in a funny mood on Mondays.
Well, since I'm under hypnosis, I don't really give a hoot. You're excused.
Ale jak sobie nóżką tupię. A teraz skończymy podsumowanie i przejdziemy do rzeczy.
Now, let's end our review and get to the point.
I'm hypnotized, so don't expect me to refuse. I'm all yours.
In the fantasies that your memory seems to recognize as reality, did you manage to deliver the energy stone to the Trantorians and save Gina's life?
It's all a bit confusing.
Just try, Brian. Did you get to the lake without being seen by the soldiers?
Yes, there was a turtle. I followed one of them in order to sneak onto the ship, but Kordsmeyer, Tarantula, and their troops were a few steps ahead of me. I took out one of the guards and put on his uniform, then they saw me. To reach the heart of the spacecraft, I was going to have to do it the hard way. In the end, I made it to a sealed chamber. My sixth sense told me where I was supposed to place the Trentonite. And that's how I managed to get the Trentonite to Alpha, the leader of the Trantorian ship.
It's fascinating that your mind is able to believe all of these wild adventures, Brian. Let us continue.
Czy długo trwało, zanim Alfa odzyskał siły?
Did it take Alpha long to get his strength back?
Not long at all. In a matter of minutes, he went from being half dead to being completely healthy.
Mówiłeś mi, że Alfa odzyskał swoje moce. Czy to długo trwało?
You were telling me that Alpha recovered his powers. How long before that happened?
Not long at all. In a matter of minutes, he went from being half dead to being completely healthy.
Czy Trantorianie zdołali odzyskać kontrolę nad swoim statkiem?
Were the Trantorians able to regain control of their ship?
Yeah, Alpha woke up the rest of the crew, and they attacked the soldiers and took Kordsmeyer prisoner, as well as Tarantula and the alien trader who'd stolen their energy stones.
A potem tylko mi nie mów, że Trantorianie sami oddali Kordsmeyera w ręce władz.
And then what? Don't tell me the Trantorians themselves took Kordsmeyer to the authorities.
No, they used a mind control device, so I'd do it for them. By activating it, I could take control of Kordsmeyer's body while I just sat there, motionless. And by controlling the Colonel, I could make him confess his crimes to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Colonel Jerome D. Chapman, who would no doubt arrest him. I had to do this fast, Because after 1 hour, the person using the mind control device loses his powers and the device disintegrates.
Czy zechciałbyś mi opowiedzieć, w jaki sposób Trantorianie zamierzali skłonić Kurzmajera do oddania się w ręce władz? Przy okazji, co stało się w tym czasie z Giną?
By the way, how was Gina during all this?
Luckily, she was fine, but she was still unconscious. Alpha told me she would still take a while to wake up, and that afterwards she wouldn't remember a thing. But I didn't care. I finally got to see her again, alive and safe and sound.
Innymi słowy, jedyne co ci ofiarowali to ten aparat, który jak mówisz miał przestać działać po 1 godzinie.
In other words, the only gift they gave you was this device, which you say would stop working after 1 hour.
In addition to the device, they gave me a very special gift. However, they insisted I be careful. Trentonite is powerful, so I had to keep it from falling into the wrong hands.
Czy zechciałbyś mi opowiedzieć w jaki sposób? Okej, dobrze, że Gina była bezpieczna, prawda?
Good thing Gina was out of danger, right?
Luckily, she was fine, but she was still unconscious. Alpha told me she would still take a while to wake up, and that afterwards she wouldn't remember a thing. But I didn't care. I finally got to see her again, alive and safe and sound.
Okej. Innymi słowy, Trantorianie zostawili ci takie kukułcze jajo i odlecieli. Co za tupet?
In other words, the Trantorians left you with this hot potato and took off. The nerve.
They said that Earth had become too hazardous for them, and that they would never return. They vanished in utter silence. Nobody saw them appear, and nobody saw them when they left.
Let's go over everything again. The Martians gave you the Trantonite and a device to control Kurzmeyer's brain with, and then they left. And what happened to all of you who were inside the ship?
Alpha told me the soldiers would be beamed back to the military camp, and that all of their memories about the spacecraft would be erased instantaneously. As for me, I appeared inside of Colonel Kurzmeyer's tent. I could still control everything he did. I could see myself holding on to the mind control device. Then I remembered what Alpha had said. I had 1 hour to make sure Kurzmeyer was put in jail before the device would disintegrate. Just 1 hour.
How am I going to do this? I've got to get Kurzmeyer and Tarantula arrested. But as soon as that happens, then Trantonite will probably get taken away. I'm not sure how I'll set things up, but within an hour, the Colonel and his mercenary will be behind bars. And my Trantonite will be in a place where nobody can find it but me.
Okej. Gramy Kurzmeierem. Jakoś tak dziwnie mi się nim steruje. Nie jestem przyzwyczajony.
She's finally here. Right in front of me. I can't believe everything I had to go through to get her back. No. Alpha says she's in such a sleepy state that she won't wake up until about an hour after getting off the ship. On his forehead, he's wearing, or rather, I'm wearing, the mind control device that allows me to control Kurzmeyer's body for 1 hour. Speak with myself. That's insane. According to Alpha, she'll wake up more or less when the mind control device disintegrates. Not only do I find her repulsive, but with all this rage pent up in Kurzmeyer's body, all I feel like doing is popping her one.
Co ja w ogóle mam w ekwipunku? Mam kilka broni, mam też granata, okej. Broń z buta.
I don't want to kill her. Getting her arrested would do me just fine.
Nie mogę zabić Tarantuli. Dobra, do Briana i do Giny raczej nie będę strzelał. Mogę wyjść z namiotu. Ale zanim wyjdę, chcę się jeszcze tutaj rozejrzeć. Chociaż nie widzę żadnych punktów interaktywnych. Raczej nic stąd zabrać nie będę mógł. Okej.
Well, I guess as long as I don't get too far from the mind control device and I keep an eye on the entrance so nobody sneaks in, I shouldn't get into any trouble.
Marine Zachariah O'Connor at your orders. My colonel, my sir, my. Semper Fi, sir.
Oh, how nice.
I'm here, my sir, colonel.
I would have never guessed.
Dang it, sir. I mean, I'm not there anymore, my colonel.
Unbelievable. And where is there?
There, sir, my colonel. Where their mission is.
Look, soldier, let's get things straight.
Co wy w ogóle wiecie, co to znaczy semper fight?
Do you even know what semper fide means?
Yes, sir. If you yell a lot, it means you're a Marine, sir. I yell it when I don't know what to say, my colonel. Semper Fi.
Semper fight znaczy zawsze wierny.
Semper fide means ever loyal.
Why, shoot, sir. You just described me. I'm as loyal as a dog. Marine Zachariah O'Connor, always loyal.
O jakiej misji mówiłeś?
What is that mission you were talking about?
Shoot, sir. You're the one who said, give the mission to the dumbest and most unessential soldier in the regiment, sir. And that's me, sir. Marine Zachariah O'Connor. Semper Fi.
Czego dotyczy misja, którą kazałem wam wykonać?
What does the mission I asked you to perform consist of?
Recovering the box of Havana cigars for my colonel from the deepest part of the Hawaiian jungle. Sir, my colonel.
Proszę raport z tej cygarnicznej misji.
I would like a report on this cigar-related mission.
Sir, I'm in elite. I can't write.
Then report to me orally.
Wait, is that where the suppositories go?
Oral means by speaking.
Sir, yes, sir. The helicopter performed the Havana cigar drop far away at the wrong coordinates on the island. Colonel, they were in the middle of the jungle, so I headed there. More scared than embarrassed, sir.
Dlaczego baliście się iść do dżungli?
Why were you afraid to go into the jungle?
Monkeys, sir! Those sneaky monkeys that tried to steal my cap and threw coconuts at me.
Nie mogliście się przed nimi obronić?
Couldn't you defend yourself from the monkeys?
Yes, sir! I glued my cap to my scalp using the regulation glue, my colonel. The bad thing is that the monkeys didn't have your cigars, sir!
Zabieram klej, którym przykleiliście sobie czapkę do głowy.
I'm taking away the glue you used to glue your cap onto your head.
That's the regulation survival glue, sir! It's all yours, sir!
I wasn't familiar with this brand, soldier.
Nie wiedziałem, że mamy taki przepisowy klej.
I didn't know we had regulation survival glue.
The rules are a bit complicated, sir, but they say, in order to impede the dehydration caused by colitis, dysentery, and other agents which lead to uncontrolled rectal evacuation. As soon as a soldier detects the first symptoms, he or she is required to apply the regulation glue to the site of expulsion of the waste product. I don't understand all that stuff about dehydration, or colitis, or dysentery, or evacuation, or rectal or waste expulsion, but the important thing is I learned it by heart and I can regurgitate it on command. Sir!
Ale ten żołnierz pierdzieli. Połowę nie rozumiem, co on w ogóle mówi. Z tym wypróżnianiem chodzi o miejsca, gdzie wkładacie sobie czopki.
Rectal means where you put your suppositories.
Why, shucks, sir. I don't know what to say. Semper Fi.
Jeśli nie rozumiecie, co mówicie, to po co uczycie się tego na pamięć?
If you don't understand what you're saying, why memorize it?
To say something smart once in a while, my colonel, sir. Plus, don't forget, I almost never know what I'm talking about. Semper Fi.
Let's just move on to another subject.
No więc, kto miał cygara Korcmajera, to znaczy moje cygara, waszego pułkownika?
Who had Kordsmeyer's cigars then? I mean, my cigars. Your colonel, sir.
These awful zillion-year-old geezers, a Japanese guy and a German who looked like they just came out of a war movie in black and white. They had smoked 7 of my colonel's cigars. My colonel, sir. But I managed to get the remaining cigars back and skedaddle out of there.
Zaczynam sądzić, że jednak macie śladową inteligencję.
I'm starting to believe that you have a knack for intelligence.
How'd you figure that out? Sir, I sent my application into intelligence services, but since I'm a moron, I'm not sure they'll let me in.
Jakim jesteście idiotą?
Just how much of a moron are you?
A total moron, utter and complete, sir. Marine Zachariah O'Connor, at your orders. A-Class A, nincompoop. Oh, sir, of mine, my colonel.
Naprawdę jest idiotą. Normalnie jak taki ruski żołnierz. Jeśli jesteście idiotą, to na jakiej podstawie oczekujecie przyjęcia do służb wywiadowczych?
If you're a moron, how do you intend to get accepted into the intelligence services?
Precisely because I'm a moron, sir. I'm the perfect candidate for espionage stuff, because nobody'd ever suspect I have anything to do with intelligence work.
Do czego wam służy ta ładna mała główka?
What do you use that pretty little head for?
To keep my insides from getting wet, Colonel.
You're right. Your intelligence is a topic we're better off avoiding. At ease, soldier.
Semper Fi.
Dobra, wydaje mi się, że porozmawialiśmy na wszystkie tematy. Co mówią przepisy na temat używania kleju? Czego dotyczy misja? Porozmawiajmy o waszej inteligencji. Spocznij, żołnierzu.
At ease, soldier.
Semper Fi!
There are several boxes in the back. I could drive far away, hide the Trantonite without anybody seeing me, and come back, but I don't dare stray too far from my real body and the mind control device.
Okej. Czy coś jeszcze tutaj znajdę? Tutaj mamy wejście do namiotu.
Those are the world-famous tiki ruins, one of the main tourist attractions on this lovely island. No, I'm a bit freaked out about getting too far away from my real body.
Może faktycznie coś przy tym O'Connorze będę musiał zrobić.
No. 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 Better not. Looks ancient.
Wygląda bardzo staro.
No. Too messy.
Strzeliłbym do O'Connora. W sensie wysadziłbym go, granatem.
He's a bit Forrest Gumpish, but without the charming wisdom.
Może faktycznie coś w tych pudłach tam z tyłu będzie.
O'Connor is so oblivious that he's not even surprised by the fact that I, the colonel who ordered him to get the cigars back, haven't even put them in my tent yet. I don't smoke, but what the heck? "1982? That thing is older than I am. I know that sounds weird because of my current appearance, but try not to forget that I'm actually a debonair collegiate youth with handsome blue eyes.
Okej, wzięliśmy sobie cygaro.
No, I already reek of tobacco.
Popatrz na pudełko i tylko to jedno cygaro było w tym pudełku.
Better not. Better not.
Lepiej nie.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. That doesn't...
Co ja miałbym zrobić z tym cygarem?
Soldier, your courage, valor, and intelligence will not go unrewarded. Would you like a cigar?
Yes, sir, my colonel. Thank you.
Enjoy it, soldier. But how dare you? Smoking in the presence of an officer. Are you looking to be court-martialed? I will turn a blind eye to your lack of discipline because of who I am. But the next time this happens, I will turn your pathetic little life into a living hell. Got that?
I shall accept my punishment with honor and integrity, sir.
Okay, I confess that was a bit cruel of me, but Kordsmeyer's body seems to have kept a grip on its innate rage and evil disposition. And I just had to get it out somehow.
Okej, ale ja widziałem, że tutaj w pudełku były jakieś kokosy czy coś.
It's full of coconuts. Okay. They grow some fine coconuts around here. It's twice as big as the ones they sell at those upscale supermarkets in New York.
No i świetnie.
Okay, I'll use the other knife for leverage too, just in case. While I was at it, I drank the coconut milk inside and ate the meat. It was amazingly tasty.
Może ja do tego kokosa będę mógł schować granata.
I'm supposed to be Colonel Kordsmeyer, who can blow things up without asking permission. But I don't see the point.
Jednak nie.
I cut? I glue? Truth is, this is kind of pointless.
Wydaje mi się, że coś muszę włożyć do tego kokosa, a potem to skleić.
It's full of cigars. I don't think O'Connor will... It's full of coconuts.
No dobra, tylko nie mam zielonego pojęcia co. Kapsuła.
Inside is the gift Alpha gave me for helping the Trantorians. A piece of Trantonite, the only one left on Earth. I'll take it. Great. Now I just have to hide it somewhere.
Okej, wydaje mi się, że ten kamień muszę schować do kokosa.
Not the best hiding place in the world, but at least it'll be out of sight and has a protective shell. Right. If I do this, it'll be a lot harder to figure out that the Trantonite is inside. In any case, I still have to find a way to keep the soldiers from finding it when they come to arrest Kordsmeyer.
Może po prostu wyjdziemy na zewnątrz i powiemy O'Connorowi, żeby schował dla nas ten kamień. On jest głupi. Na pewno później zapomni, gdzie to wrzucił.
Great idea. Soldier!
Yes, sir! Colonel! Sir!
I'm gonna give you a coconut. I know you have a lot of them already, but this one here's special.
Does it bite?
No! What you gotta do with it is hide the thing.
In the place where I put my suppositories.
No! Well, not necessarily. Put it wherever you want, but hide the thing. I don't want anyone to know you've got it.
I'll protect it with my life. That coconut is now worth more than my own head, my colonel.
Good. You only give it to someone who says this password to you. We all know the truth. Life consists of how we choose to distort it.
We all know the truth. Life consists of how we choose to distort it. Sir, password memorized. My colonel, sir.
Perfect. When all this is over and things calm down, either Gina or I could go find O'Connor, give him the password and get the Trantonite back.
Gorzej, jeżeli nie będzie nam chciał go przekazać. Chcę odebrać mojego kokosa. Czego dotyczy misja? Porozmawiajmy o waszej inteligencji. Okej.
At ease, soldier.
Always.
No dobra. Może coś do tej kapsuły będę mógł włożyć, na przykład granata.
Well, not that I care much, but it may be a good way to get rid of all the evidence that the Trantorians ever visited this pretty little island. Let's see now. First I pull the pin, then I put the grenade inside the capsule, I close the capsule, I walk outside, I throw the capsule towards the lake, and boom! If nobody sees me, cool. And if they do see me, well, I'm supposed to be the man in charge around here, aren't I? So go for it. Gentlemen, you have to be extremely careful when handling grenades. Never, I mean never, in any case, pull the pin before the right time. Oops, a grenade with a USB connection. What have they come up with next?
To nie jest prawdziwy granat. To jest... O! Mamy laptop. No dobra, zatem użyjmy tego granata na laptopie.
Okie doke. Let's see if I get lucky and find some explosive information. I hit the jackpot. The USB grenade contains information on lots of different fraudulent activities Kordsmeyer has taken part in. The money he embezzled from the military budgets, hiring Tarantula. There's enough in here to get him to rot in jail for a couple of consecutive life sentences. They couldn't find a bigger one? Get Lieutenant Colonel Chapman on the horn.
As you wish.
Lieutenant Colonel Chapman, come to my tent immediately. I order you to arrest me, along with Tarantula, my accomplice, for the crimes of embezzlement, fraud, and abuse of power. Since I may eventually deny all this, let me mention that the documents which prove it that...
Keep still, soldier boy.
So long, soldier boy.
After hearing Brian Basco's deeply buried and confused memories, these are my conclusions regarding what really took place on Mala Island. The Army arrived to provide backup for a scientific operation, observing the falling of a small meteorite in the central lake on Mala Island. With the help of the mercenary, who Basco refers to as Tarantula, Colonel Kordsmeyer intended to steal the core of the meteorite, or in other words, the Trantonite, before the scientists arrived. When Brian Basco showed up, asking for Gina, who had fallen into the lake from an airplane, the colonel decided to get rid of him without providing any further explanation. With the army refusing to help, Basco stole some diving equipment and the military uniform he mentioned. And he rescued Gina, who was lying unconscious in an underwater cave inhabited by sea turtles, which he referred to as the Trantorian spacecraft and its alien crew. He was exhausted and nearly frozen to death. This explains his paranoid inventions related with Alaska. He made it to the surface with Gina and got some help from the military in the end. And while they were waiting inside of a tent, Kordsmeyer came in to make sure they didn't know anything about his plans. That is the moment Tarantula chose to betray the colonel in order to steal the coveted meteorite core herself. She put a gun in Brian Basco's hand at a time when he didn't even have the strength to move. She held her hand over Brian Basco's, forcing him to press the trigger. And she shot Kordsmeyer. Going into shock clouded Basco's memory. In the meantime, Tarantula escaped. Chapman,
Miss
detained
Palmer?
Basco, committed suicide months
Yes.
later. I don't have a clue who this Tarantula woman really is, but I trust that if we find her, life will become a lot easier for Brian Basco.
Allow me to explain the situation to you, Judge. You will write up a report declaring Brian Basco guilty, based on the evidence found by Dr. Bennett.
That evidence doesn't exist.
It does. The recordings from the hypnotherapy sessions, Chapman's email.
Both prove he's innocent.
They'll never know. Tonight, Gina Timmons will force open the door of this house and she'll destroy all the evidence.
You'll never get that report, even if you threaten to kill me.
You're already dead. After destroying the evidence, Gina will shoot you 5 times, point blank. After that, she'll take the gun, put it in her own mouth, and...
Have you no scruples? You planned it all out?
Not everything. My dilemma, dear Judge, is whether to order 2 coffins or 3. Start writing.
No to sprawy się troszeczkę pokomplikowały. Panna Palmer to tak naprawdę była tarantula w przybraniu.
Man, a few years ago, that day I fell down dancing and dislocated my thumb, I would have never imagined I would actually be thankful for new flexibility in my thumb. Otherwise, I'd still be stuck in those handcuffs. And as for opening them with a tie pin, well, we all have a past, but getting back to the present. I can't escape or I run the risk that Tarantula will make Gabbo and Judge Whitley pay for it. So I guess all I can do is try to ask for help. But how? And from who?
Myślałem, że ktoś tutaj stoi. No dobra. Spójrz na kosz.
Smells nice. Clean, unironed clothes. Let's see if there's anything useful in there. Pretty scarf.
Okej.
It's the entrance to one of those neat laundry chutes. Just what I imagined. This is where they throw their dirty laundry so their maids can wash it downstairs. I had to escape from a hotel room by jumping down one of those chutes once, because outside the door there was... oh, never mind. I slid down the chute for at least 50 feet, and I fell into a tank full of bags of dirty laundry. Didn't get a scratch or bruise, it was so soft.
A gdybyśmy teraz tędy uciekli, mogłoby się to udać. Ale z drugiej strony, gdyby w kontenerze nie było ubrań, no to byśmy mieli twarde lądowanko.
No, I don't want anyone to see light coming from under the door. It leads to a hallway. At the end is the dining room, and beyond is the room where we watched Bennett's recordings. I can't hear a thing, they're too far away. looks like the same bum we saw when we got here. Assuming he's just asleep or drunk, I've clearly found someone to ask for help now. This isn't going to be easy, though, since he's at least 10 floors down. And if I yell, Tarantula will hear me before that bum does.
Gdyby Gina wiedziała, że jest to Brian, pewnie nie nazywałaby go żulem.
I can't escape, or I run the risk that Tarantula will make Gabbo and Judge Whitley pay for it. Those things there look like containers of juice.
Butelki z sokiem.
I'll just take one. Citrus Splash Extreme Juice. How lame. There are several No, if I need... Those cleaning products must be good because this home is spotless. Take that? Impossible. There's a small iron, like a travel iron. It's brand new.
Wziąłem żelazko.
There's a plastic bucket. It's empty.
I nic więcej. Tutaj jest jakiś kufer, ale nie jest klikalny. A gdybym tak wyprasował ten szalik...
Iron it? I think not, but... Call the cops.
O, pomysłowe.
I think it's obvious what I'll be using it for.
Wiecie co? Chyba wpadłem na pewien pomysł.
Okay, but while I'm at it, I have emptied every single one on the shelves to make sure the bucket was nice and full.
W jaki sposób obudzić żula? Polać go wodą. Niestety nie mamy wody, ale mamy sok pomarańczowy.
Gina, that is one majorly foolish plan.
Gdybyśmy w taki sposób ocucili Briana, moglibyśmy mu rzucić szalik, żeby zadzwonił po gliny.
That sounds good. A juice bath will certainly wake that bum up. I'll let the scarf hang out of the window so he sees my message after the juice in the bucket spills on him and wakes him up.
Oh, I don't believe it. I'm going to have to tie you up now.